Hi, this is Tanya from Love Buddha Tarot, back with the cards of today for the 30th of January 2017. Now, first of all, thank you so much to all the new subscribers, to all of the messages that I've had over the weekend. You know, it's been a little bit overwhelming, but fabulous, you know. So I hope you stay. A lot of you came here for the monthlies, so I hope you like the dailies as well. So like I say, thank you for that. Now, I have a new deck. I got this deck delivered yesterday and I literally was so excited. I couldn't even open the box. I was shaking. They're absolutely fabulous. They're called the Bonfire Tarot. And the imagery on them is just absolutely just wow. I had so much to do yesterday and I just played with them all day, you know, so they're very, very insightful. So I couldn't wait to share them with you today. So we'll get straight back onto the cards. And I've said this before, it doesn't matter how long I've been reading tarot. With the daily cards, I work with a tarot deck. I work with the Osho Zen tarot and I work with the Colette Baron Reid tarot. And the way that they integrate with each other just blows my mind. So, like I say, I'm going to get started. So look at these. Look at the colour in them. Aren't they fabulous? So yeah. So the card that we have today, this is the tarot card, is the Eight of Cups. Now, when the Eight of Cups comes in, it means walking away from something. This is it. So there is a tinge of sadness linked with this card as well. Now, when I'm looking at this card, the guy in it actually looks quite like the Hermit in this. Don't know if you can see that. So this is saying that there's a need for solitude as well. But I also feel there's a relocation coming with this. Now, where this guy has been comfortable. You know, it's comfortable, it's familiar, but there's a cup missing. And he knows that it's like he's had this sort of wake-up call, okay? Like the mist is cleared now. And he has a clear picture of what he has to do. Now, you know, like I say, you know, things where he is or where he's been may not be devastating. They may not be like really, really bad. But he knows that there's this piece missing. And it doesn't matter how much he tries to find this piece where he is, you know, this missing cup, it's not there. And the missing cup is the fulfillment as well, you know. So it's like, this is about finally admitting something to yourself, you know, and just thinking, you know what, is this ever going to be what I really want it to be as well, you know. And it's like, you know this in your heart, and it's like, right, okay, I need to go on like a journey to actually find this fulfillment, to find where it is, you know, sort of like the hunt for the Holy Grail sort of thing. You might not know where to look for it. You might not even know what it is that you're looking for, but you know that if you stay in your present situation, that you're losing a bit of yourself every day, you know. So it's like your soul is urging you on to actually find this inner fulfillment as well, you know. And it's not easy to walk away from things, you know. It's not, and it can bring pain with it as well. But this is about owing it to yourself to know that, you know, there's something more for me, and there's something that will, you know, will massively fulfill me as well, you know. So this card is saying, don't hesitate, don't turn back either, because if you turn back, it's just like, you know, that's only going to bring more chaos and destruction. And you've been through all that. So it's about moving forward here, even if it's into the unknown, because you don't know what lies ahead. And if we have a look here, you know, there is a steep hill in front of him, you know, but there's a steep hill behind him as well. And he's got through that. That is now like, you know, water under the bridge. So I really feel this is given like a strength, as in, right, okay, I've had some shitty testing times, I've had some challenges, and I've got through them. So whatever is lying in front of me, I know I will be able to tackle it, you know. Now, there may be people trying to stop you as well from doing this, but what you need to look at here is that in their best interest or is that in yours? you know, because like I say, this is saying, you know, it's like you've sort of already started, or maybe this is only in the mind, and if we know, if we go there in the mind, we will go there in the body, you know, that's it. Once we've worked it out in our head, then we can actually put our thoughts into action, and then we can actually start this moving. So this card is saying, like, keep walking, you know, like I say, don't look back, you know, keep your eye on the horizon here, you know, listen to that call. Listen to the call of the universe and see where it is guiding you, because I feel with this card, it's like, it might be the last few months. It might even be the last few weeks as well. Maybe last 8 weeks. 8 weeks they're bringing in here. There's been a lot of soul searching going on. Like I say, this guy in here reminds me of the hermit, you know. So this is about soul searching as well. And I really feel that this is like pursuing a spiritual journey as well. You know, this isn't chasing after the materialistic. This isn't chasing after money or anything like this. This is chasing after like spiritual gold. You know, that's what they say. I've just got a picture there of like Indiana Jones, you know, and the Temple of Doom. So it's like, yeah, there might be all these little things. There might be this big ball rolling after you, but you know that you've got to actually make that move. I love some of the images that they show me, you know. So this is saying that, you know, you can't ignore it now. You have done in the past. You've cut yourself out. But if we remember, the 7 of Cups comes before the 8. And the 7 is where we see what is real and we see what isn't real. And it's now, like I say, this wake-up call. It's, you know, what is real and what is false, or where you have had illusions. So it's like the veil is parted. The Maya, you know, has actually gone. So now it's like, no matter how hard this is, you know that you owe it to yourself, you know. What will happen is, once you do this, like I say, you've been through this rocky time and you've got through it, you know, and things are now flowing a little bit better. So it's like you will have a better understanding of yourself, of others, of situations as well, because this is what happens with our spiritual growth. We learn. You know, we always learn. Like I say, you never lose. You always win or you learn, you know. And this is it. I feel there's been a lot of lessons learned with this. And I think what you've realized now is where you are, or where your situation is, or your present situation that you're needing to walk away from, is, I think you know that it's not what it was. If we remember, we've got the 6 of Cups before this, which is about nostalgia and sort of having rose-tinted glasses at things. And then the 7 of Cups comes in, and this shows us, right, it breaks everything open and it shows us what is real and what isn't real. And then we have the 8 of Cups, which is, right, okay, we're going on our quest to find out what makes me happy. Then we have the 9 of Cups, which is contentment and happiness. So this is all part of the journey. The tarot is a journey, you know. So this is saying, don't look back, you know. Even if you are being told that you're abandoning something, you know, there might be a lot of this, oh yeah, you're abandoning me, or you're abandoning this, or whatever, you know. If you keep on the path where you have been, you will never be happy, and you will never find this fulfillment, what you are searching for, you know. So, you know, you need to do this, because otherwise you are abandoning your hopes, your dreams, and your chance of happiness. And this is something that it is our God-given right, you know, it is our birthright to experience happiness, you know. So this is saying, don't let this opportunity pass you neither. What I found was interesting when I looked at this card is, we have a look here, the sun and the moon. Now we are just getting in, we're the 30th of January now, and as we get into February, this is the eclipse season. Now this is a lunar eclipse that I'm seeing in this, and that is happening on the 10th of February. So please put that in your diary, 10th of February, because I feel this card is massively connected to that. Now this lunar eclipse that we are going into, this is a massive phase of opportunity. It's about turning our dreams into reality, which is exactly what this card is saying, you know. And it's a very magical time, and it's very full of spirituality as well, you know. So what this is saying is, I think between now and February the 10th, you know, be there's shifts, there's things happening, you know. Yeah, yeah, things are a coming. That's what I just said. Things are a coming. So yeah, the 10th of February, between now and the 10th of February, and this is about you venturing into the great unknown, you know, but also about the spiritual discoveries that you actually find on the way. So I said once we got into February, things were going to start to speed up, and this is telling me that, you know, I was right. So yeah, February, like I say, the brakes come off. That's what happens February. So an absolutely beautiful card. I love that. I hope you like them cards. So then we come to the Osho card, and like I say, the Osho card is the Eight of Water, which the Eight of Water is the Eight of Cups. So it's exactly the same card as came out in the Osho card. So what this is saying, what this one is saying, if we have a look, beautiful imagery again, you know, it's saying that something is finished. Something is completing, you know, whether this is a job, a relationship, an end of an era, you know, if it's moving away from a home you've loved, you know, anything that has helped in the past define who you are, it's now time to let go of it, you know. Letting go is something that we can all do, you know, but what happens is often when we have to let go of something, we feel this fear. So we start to cling, you know, and often we are clinging to like worn out threads, you know, of something that is not what it was. And this gives us like a false sense of security, but we know it. You know, we know it and we feel it. So what happens is, because we know that this, all right, this is slipping away from us, it creates more fear. And so we cling harder, you know, and it's just this crazy like mismatch. And then it's like gets into this big tangled mess where we are feeling massively insecure, where we are feeling anxiety as well, you know, and it's not good. When something is done, you know, if something is done, let it go. That's it. You know, if something wants to come in, let it in. But if something is done, let it go, you know, and let it go gracefully as well. Clinging is not cool, you know. Clinging is not cool for you. Clinging is not cool for the situation, and clinging is not good for your self-empowerment neither, you know, because when we cling, it's because we know that something isn't ours, you know. So try and look at it in that way. And like I say, you know, this card does come with this little bit of sadness, but we need to allow this sadness. We need to accept it, you know. In life, you know, we have ups and downs, you know, and the road of life is never, ever easy, and things do go. And if you look at throughout your life, you know, maybe your best friend now isn't who was your best friend then. Maybe the person you're in love with now isn't the person who you used to be in love with in the past, because things change, you know, change is inevitable. And we cannot stay the same, because when we stay the same, this is when this false sense of security comes in, and this is when our growth is stumped, you know, and we don't grow. So what this card is saying is accept any sadness that's there, you know, and move on and stop clinging, because there is something greater available. Like I say, you know, we've got this card, there's magic, there's spirituality, there's, you know, your path is coming, you're on the road to contentment. That's what they've just said there, you know. So there's a lot of like new dimensions to be discovered, you know, and it's like you've passed the point of no return now. There is no going back, you know. This is it. When you've made this decision, or when this decision is made for you by the universe and by spirit, you still then cannot go back and see, you know, and forget that as well, you know. So this is saying you've just got to go with it. It's like the universe and gravity is you know, is doing its work. If we have a look at this, you know, that drop on there, can it stop itself dropping? Gravity is stronger than it, and gravity is a universal energy, you know, which, like I say, it's the universe is guiding you to move on here, because this card is all about liberation, and it's about freedom as well, you know. And letting go does hurt, and like I say, there's fear comes up with it, but regretting not letting go when you know that you should will eventually hurt you and haunt you more, and that could be something that is lifelong. So like I say, this is about just, right, okay, you know, it's my time to move. And you know, I've said it is painful, you know, but if you let yourself know that you don't need anything, you know, then that is an easier way to let go. You know, yes, it's nice to have things there, you know, but we don't really need anything or anybody. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm not saying shut yourself off, but it's, you know, it's nice to want to have somebody to share this with, but knowing that you don't need them gives you a sense of empowerment. You know, I mean, Dr. Wayne Dyer said, you know, that I know that I am already whole and I need not chase after anything to be complete. And this is it. You need to be, in order for any of your life to work, you need to be whole within yourself. You know, you need to be able to stand by yourself and stand in your own power and be happy with who you are, you know. And then whoever comes along for the ride, great, you know, that just enhances it. But if you're always looking for somebody to complete you or to fill this void, you are always going to be disappointed, you know, because expectations are the root of all disappointments. So, like I say, you know, this is it's a beautiful card. And what we need to realize with this is, you know, it's about letting go gracefully. This is it. You know, you've started your journey. You're on that path. You know that, you know, there is this missing cup. Something is missing. And this is why you have to let go of what was in order for what will be to come in for you. Now, the Colette Baron Reid card that I pulled today is, I don't like this card. These cards are usually quite beautiful. And this one's got like a sadness to it, which I do feel there is a sadness around today. And this one is called Orphaned, you know. And what this card says is, you know, we are meant to have connections with people. We are, you know, this is it. We cannot live a life completely by ourselves. You know, no man is an island. But it's important to recognize, you know, when we are around something, just to feel a part of it as well, you know, because this card is about finding where you fit. Like I say, the guy in the first card, he doesn't fit now where he once was. So what you need to do, and what this card is saying is I mean, it's a number 5 as well, which is always about challenges and changes. And what it's saying is, like, you know, find your core truths and find your core values as well, you know, because you may not now identify with a group or a community that you were once part of, and you need to sort of go off in search of your tribe, if that makes sense. And this happens, you know, we all grow at different levels. So somebody that we totally connected with, you know, 10 years ago, they may have gone off on a different path, and then you come together and it's like, what have we got in common? You know, I was talking to a friend of mine once, and she actually said to me, if I met my husband in a pub now, I wouldn't even go on a date with him. I love him dearly, but they'd been together that long. She said, we haven't got the same interests. We have grown at different rates, you know. So there's sort of a staying there for nostalgia, you know. She was in safe. That's what she even admitted, you know. So whenever we feel this, and whenever we feel the need to move away as well, you know, this can bring with it like quite a lot of confusion, and we've got this sense of loss. Nobody likes losing anything, you know. But what you need to do here is address your need to belong, you know, and know that there is other people out there who, you know, who are coming from the same place as you, you know, who are like-minded in mind and spirit. And this often happens when we start on a spiritual journey. It isn't easy because we see that the life we were living beforehand doesn't fulfill us, and the people that we were around don't spark that passion in us, you know, don't spark that, you know, the conversation doesn't get us riled up. I actually, last night, I had to end a Skype call with my auntie in America because she started talking about politics, and I was like, we can't do this. We can't have this conversation. And it went on, and in the end I went, look, I love you, I'm gone. And I had to end it because, you know, and I love her dearly, but we clash in so many different ways, you know, and it doesn't work, you know. So like I say, and this was a person who I used to massively look up to, their views and ideals, and now it's, whoa, you know, that is not cool with me. So like I say, this is about, you know, don't feel pressured to fit in somewhere, you know, where you don't fit in, because like I say, you were born to stand out, you know. Not everyone will understand this, because like I say, people are on their different journeys of different stages of their journey as well. But this card is saying it's time to move on. So that is 3 cards, you know, you're getting it like triple whammy here. And it's saying, like, as you make this decision to move on, what you are doing is you are committing to your growth, and you are committing to your spiritual journey as well, you know. And you know, you may want the support of others on this, but I feel that there could be a disappointment within this. People aren't going to like it, but like I say, that's their bag, you know, because if they're not providing you with the support, you know, it's like I say, let something go, you know, let something find its wings. That is where we get unconditional love, you know, when we let something. It's not about our needs, it's about, you know, letting something go if it's there. So, you know, this is like, it's sort of drifting away, and I feel this is about stepping away, because there's a big part in this. This is what I'm seeing, a big part in here as well, you know. And I feel that, like I say, with this cup, there's a missing fulfillment, but I also feel the sense of safety and the sense of belonging that you want or wish or crave or want to be part of is not there where you are, you know. So like I say, it's like the universe is steering you in the direction to those that will accept you, you know, without any agenda or you know, anything like that, where it is unconditional, you know. So please don't compromise yourself just to feel safe or just to belong where you are, you know, because it's not worth the price that you will pay. So with this card as well, what it says is that you can't be all things to all people. You know, a lot of people will lean on you for support, and that is cool that you can give them it when you can. But if that is at the risk of your own personal happiness and your own personal integrity, then that is not good, you know. And this may make you a little bit unpopular with people, but hey, do you know what I mean? There will be people who actually admire you for that as well. So this is about being clear on your mission, being clear with your goal, being clear that you are going into the unknown, but you know what it is that you are going in search of as well, you know. And this is when, once you do this, this is when you will start to attract abundance, you know. So stay in your own lane here, ride your own groove, you know. That's what they're saying there. And this is when you will start to shine, and this is when you will experience this fulfillment, this empowerment, you know, and you will have many interesting connections on the way as well. I feel that's what they've just brought in there. Now, when I looking, I mean, I'm looking at that card, sorry, there, and what we have is we have a lot of bare, naked trees there. And yes, you know, it still looks a little bit bare there, but the trees, the obstacles aren't there. So like I say, by making this move, I feel that the mist will clear with it. I want to end this with, when I first pulled those cards, I got a quote, one of my favorite quotes in the world. Well, not one of my favorite quotes, it's from one of my favorite films in the world, sorry. And if anybody hasn't seen it, Harold and Maude is like, that's my Sunday afternoon movie. I absolutely adore it. It makes me laugh, it makes me cry, it makes me feel warm inside. It's all beautiful. And one of the quotes in that is, Maud says to Harold, well, if some people get upset because they feel they have to hold on to something, I'm just acting as a gentle reminder. Here today, gone tomorrow, so don't get attached to things. Now, with that in mind, I don't mind collecting things. I've collected quite a lot of stuff in my time. Yeah, this is all memorabilia, but it's incidental, not integral, if you know what I mean. And that's it, you know, when we walk away from something, you know, we take our memories with us, and eventually, even if it's a bad situation that we're in, eventually the bad memories will disappear, and you know, we will be left with the good memories, and they are always in our heart, you know, they always are. So it's not like you're leaving behind with nothing, but it's like, you know, the experiences we have on our journey are incidental, you know, they're not integral. The people we meet on, you know, we don't have to carry them throughout our life, you know. Sometimes if you think every person that you met or had a connection with, if you still stayed in contact with them, if you still had them, if the baggage that came with all them, if you still carried it around, you wouldn't get to your future because you'd be that way down. You couldn't move anywhere, you know. So it's about, like I say, just lightening your load, you know, and letting things fall away naturally, you know, because this is what happens in life. If you look at the life cycle of a tree, you know, it has all these beautiful leaves on. We come to autumn, they start to decay, they start to die, and then it sheds them so that it is ready to start again in the springtime, you know. And this is what I really feel with this card. It's like, you know, it's time to stop clinging and it's time to start walking. That's what's just came in there. So I hope you like these cards. Anybody that would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch, either via my Facebook page, just click on the book now button, via my website, there's a booking, you can book through there. Again, like I say, thank you to everybody I've got messages around. If I haven't answered them all yet, I will get round to that eventually. But like I say, if you need a little bit clarity, because I do feel we're in the midst of change. I feel that's what's coming in, and change can often need clarity, and often a reading can do that. So please get in touch, and I hope you like those cards, and I will see you tomorrow with the cards of today. Sat now.